thank you for checking out our video. Hope you enjoyed. This was our first international trip for our baby. So with this whole pandemic, we weren't sure when it's safe, when we can, what's required. So we've been putting off this trip for quite some time, and then finally we gave up and we're like, let's book it. And of course we need passport for our baby since he never traveled outside of US. We called to schedule and we were told we're too late for the regular one, so we should schedule the expedited one. As long as we have our itinerary information, they should be able to do it. So we had to call them back to schedule another appointment within the last 2 weeks, and oddly enough, they didn't have any appointments available. The soonest one was the day we leave, and it's like a few hours after our flight. So we ended up rescheduling our whole trip by a day, and it turned out pretty good. A hotel and flight we did with no issues. And here we are in Mexico, Cabo San Lucas. We stayed at the resort called Villa Del Palmar, and what's interesting, there are a few resorts next to each other and they're gated and they have checkpoint, and not every taxi or Uber can get through. Only they're approved, or the companies they work with can enter. Otherwise you have to walk outside and quite a bit of walk to meet your Uber or a taxi. And this is our room we stayed at. By the time we checked in and figured out what, where, and why, it was too late to make any reservations at the restaurant. So we ended up going to this buffet, and it almost sounds like your last resort, but the kitchen was pretty good, and they do change their kitchens and menus every day, and every day there's a different show. So that was pretty interesting and pretty entertaining.
What you got there? Cucumber? You like it? I love you.
The next morning we had to go and commit some of our time to what you probably already guessed, and we knew this was coming because that's how we got the deal on this trip. And we politely said no because it wasn't our time, wasn't our place, and that's totally fine. Nobody's gonna hold your feet to the fire. And they did show us their best rooms, for example this one. And at the end, as a thank you gift, they gave us a free trip on the glass bottom boat around the arc, which was really nice. we spotted a beautiful bird over here. Who can guess what type of bird this is? Let me know in the comments. For lunch we had sushi and tacos, and it was so good, I gotta say. However, if I don't have my coffee, my head usually hurts, so we ended up going to this market with a cafe next to it, and they have some delicious desserts and coffee, obviously. So we were in heaven, and even my baby was munching on those cakes. By the way, I wanted to mention, while all of the restaurants are all-inclusive, this coffee shop is not, even though it looks like it's on the property of the resort.
Yeah, I'd rather be a lover than a fighter. Cause all my life I've been fighting. Never felt a feeling of comfort. All this time I've been hiding, and I never had someone to come on. Oh, nah, I'm so used to shit. Love only left me alone, but I'm at one with the silence. I found peace in your vibes. Can't show me there's no point in trying. I'm at one, and I've been quiet for too long. I found peace in your vibes. Can't show me there's no point in trying. I'm at one, and I've been silent for too long. I've been quiet for too long.
Okay, enough of sunset for today. We are down for dinner. Food was delicious, and what was unique about this restaurant, they brought our food on this portable little grill. It was super good again. The next morning we come down to breakfast buffet and we see those huge cruise ships, and at one point there were three at the same time, and one left earlier. I don't know their schedule, but it was definitely beautiful scene. Then we went back to a coffee shop to grab some coffee and desserts, and at the same time we checked out the market. Today we went on that boat trip that I mentioned earlier to see the Ark. It's a pretty distinctive landmark of Cabo San Lucas, and it's actually located on the very tip of Baja, Mexico, and it connects the Pacific Ocean and the Sea of Cortez.
Nice birthday, Ari. the bell you can do is browsing. So, but you have many activities right here. You can swim in the same water. Enjoy the view. So it's a good experience. The same rock, and it's right here, Cabo San Lucas. You see it? So guys, who is first? Have a seat. Who's first?
Take some pictures.
Maybe a pink. Okay, I just if you see it, to start in the cave to the right side, you can see a little boat.
Oh, I know what he's doing. More pelicans.
You see the big waves, this area, the Pacific Ocean. This no, it's a beach. This right here is the open sea, but behind the lower beach, this area.
we checked out the kids' pool, and I gotta be honest, I was not thrilled. For some reason, I expected the flooring of the pool to be sort of rubbery, foamy, and it was not. It was some kind of rough finish that when my baby was crawling around, he scratched his knees. He did not complain, which was good, but I did not like that. So we just went back to the ocean, and we met this friendly couple from Spokane, and she even bought a toy for my baby though, so that was nice. Today we went to the mall and then for a little stroll around the downtown and waterfront. Got some Starbucks coffee and a cake, and then when we were walking by this place, I remember that 7 years ago I took a picture with my sisters right there. That was pretty interesting. In the evening, we went to this restaurant to eat, and they had some interesting dishes on the menu. For example, this one, coffee and rosemary. By the way, while everything is all-inclusive, they did have a few dishes that were premium for extra charge, but they do notify you, hey, this one actually will cost you, do you still want it, just so you don't get surprised. And the food was really good. It actually took them a minute to make it, but it was worth waiting. way, does anyone know what this is? And today is our last day. And this is when his knees got scratched again.
Nolan! Hi! Hi!
By the way, when we checked in, they gave us this little map that shows all the restaurants and shows what they have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and if you need to make a reservation, where it's located. So it's pretty convenient to have it. There's a sports bar that I forgot to show you. Food was good as well. And here's that market that I was talking about, and the coffee place right there. It's still on the property of the resort, but it's sorta not part of it. the way, if you need to check out and your flight isn't until later in the day, they have this pretty cool area that you can hang out, leave your bags, and use their facility. That I thought it was pretty cool, and we stayed here for a little before we had to check out and go. And that concludes our vacation. It was amazing. I hope you enjoyed this video, maybe found something interesting, something useful, and let me know what you think. Let me know if you have been to Cabo, if you have been to this resort. What are your thoughts? I want to know your story. Also, feel free to check out our other videos. We do travel. I've been to Hawaii, different islands a few times, been to different states, even Europe. So yeah, check it out. Let me know. I will be happy if you subscribe, and have a fantastic day.